My daughter's husband told the waiter, "Move this old guy to the back. We're expecting real guests." The waiter checked his tablet and said, "Sir, he owns the restaurant." Everyone froze. My name is Arthur Lane. I was 74 years old that winter. I had run cranes for 30 years and kept my hands steady even when steel swung like a bell. I was a widower. I had one daughter, Hannah, and a granddaughter, Mia, who liked to color menus while I told stories about bridges. I did not talk much about my money or the places I owned. I learned a long time ago that people change when they think you are a wallet. I believed in good food, good jobs, and leaving things better than you found them. I did not believe in men who used family like a ladder. His words hit the room like a fork dropped on tile. People turned. The waiter's face went red, then steady. He checked the tablet again, then looked at me with respect. He had seen me here every week. He had seen me tip. He had seen me sign the checks in the office when a vendor needed paying right away. He knew, even if I never made a show of it. Nate, my son-in-law, laughed too loud, the false kind. "Just a joke," he said. "Arthur likes the back." His hearing. He pointed at my ear like I was a child. He kept his hand on Hannah's chair, claiming space that was not his. Hannah stared at the water glass and traced a circle on the table with her finger. Mia looked up at me and smiled, because she did not understand what he had tried to do. I stayed quiet. My face was calm. Inside, I felt the steady heat you get when someone bumps your chest and waits to see if you will fall. I did not fall. The manager came over. "Mr. Lane, your usual booth is open," she said, "or the corner, if you want quiet." She did not look at Nate. She looked at me. Nate said, "We'll stay where we are. I'm hosting." He lifted a menu like it was a flag. He wanted the room to see him in charge. He wanted the room to see me moved. He wanted to set the tone for what came next, and it was not about dinner. "Booth," I said. "The corner." My voice was even. I reached for Mia's hand. Hannah stood. The scrape of chairs was loud. Nate didn't move. His eyes went flat and then bright. He said, "You know what, Artie? Sit where you like. Just remember who keeps this family on schedule." I did not answer. I put Mia's little coat on her shoulders. The waiter led us. As we walked, other staff nodded. "Good evening, Mr. Lane." "Nice to see you, Art." One of the cooks leaned out and raised a hand. They were simple greetings. They were also a line drawn on tile. At the booth, I slid in with my back to the wall. I could see the door. I could see the office. I could see Nate at the table he had claimed. He talked fast to a couple he had invited. He waved his empty hand like he had something to offer. Hannah sat across from me. She looked tired. "I am sorry, Dad," she said. "He thought—" "I know what he thought," I said. I kept my voice low. "Eat. We will get Mia home on time." The manager set down 2 plates of my usual on the house. She touched my shoulder, light as a check mark. "Good to have you tonight," she said. I watched Nate watch that. Later, he slid into our booth like he had been invited. He held his glass like a trophy and smiled the way you do for strangers. "We got off on the wrong foot," he said. "Big night, friends in town. You know how it is." "I know what you said," I answered. My tone stayed steady. "I heard every word." He shrugged. "You sit. You pay. That is your job now." He tapped the check presenter with his finger. "It keeps the peace. It keeps your name clean. You like that. Don't make it weird." He wanted to make me small while using my money to get big. He wanted me to nod and save him from the bill, and he wanted to do it in front of people. He smiled wider and leaned back as if we were all joking. "You like the back anyway," he said. "Less draft." "I choose where my money goes," I said. The smile flickered. He glanced at Hannah, then at Mia, who was drawing a cat on a napkin. "Well, that is generous of you, because we have plans. Family plans." He said the word family like it had teeth, like it bit you if you did not obey. Hannah spoke up soft. Nate, please. He talked over her. Guests are coming next week. Real guests. Investors. You can bring your friends another time. He made a little shooing motion with his hand, the same hand that had tapped the check, the same hand that always reached and took. I heard my heart in my ears. I kept my hands flat on the table. I looked at Hannah. Do you want to eat here next week? I asked. She looked at her plate. I want quiet, Dad, she said. I want Mia to feel safe. Nate laughed again. Safe? In a restaurant? Come on. He pushed the check toward me like it was assigned work. Let's do what we always do. The manager stepped near our booth. She did not interrupt. She stood where she could hear if I needed her to hear. It was good to know who watches and who pretends. I slid the check back to the center. I will pay for my food, I said. Not for your show. He leaned closer. His breath smelled like gin. You do not want trouble with me, he said. I do not fear you, I said. My voice barely rose. He flinched as if I'd slapped him. It was nothing but the sound of a decision. He tried to laugh once more, but the laughter fell short. He stood, put on his jacket in a sharp, angry way, and went back to his guests. He never looked at Hannah. He clinked glasses and said, to family, loud enough for us to hear. He showed his hand. We took my truck. The air was cold. Mia slept in the back seat with her coat over her like a blanket. The road was empty. The glow from the dash lit Hannah's face. She held her phone tight and did not look at it. I knew the look. It was the look of someone who has heard too many plans that were not hers. He wants you in assisted living, she said. Her voice cracked on the word wants. By Monday. I kept my eyes on the road. Monday is 3 days from now. He already called places, she said. He toured one. He told the director you were confused. He said you were ready to sign. He says it will be good for you. He says it will be good for us. She swallowed. He says I should stop working and stay home because the investors will need the house for meetings. My house, I said. Hannah nodded. He told a realtor to get the photos done. He said a fast list could happen. He said it like a business plan. He said you will forget old stuff easier in a new place. Her hands shook. He told me to stop being sentimental. I felt that steady heat again, low and sure. Did you agree? No, she said. I told him it was too fast. I told him I would not force you. He laughed and called it logistics. She wiped her eyes with the heel of her hand. He said I was weak. He said Mia would be better off in a better school if we used the equity. I heard the word equity like a bad taste in my mouth. People who love you do not say equity when they mean you. You are not weak, I said. You are tired. There is a difference. She looked at me. He wants your signature, Dad. He printed something. He stuck it in your mailbox. He told me to make sure you sign it tonight. He said you do not read everything anymore. She swallowed again. I hate this. I hate that I did not see it coming. You saw it, I said. You told me. That is seeing. We drove in silence for a mile. Snow lay in thin lines along the ditches. The truck heater hummed. Mia snored, a tiny sound. I thought of my wife's hand on the same bench seat long ago. I thought of the garden she kept alive after frost. At the light, Hannah said, I am scared, Dad. I know, I said. I am not. I said it because I needed her to borrow that steadiness. I said it because fear feeds men like Nate. You and Mia will sleep at my place tonight. She nodded. She looked out the window. He said he would come by first thing. 8 o'clock. He said we would get this handled by noon. She laughed once without humor. He likes to say handled. Let him come, I said. I turned onto my road. The trees arched. The porch light glowed. The night felt less empty, but the risk was not small. It sat in the truck with us. It wore a wedding band and talked about equity. Risk spiked for me, but I knew what I was doing. The mailbox rattled in the wind. I opened it. There was a thick envelope with my name typed on a label. No return address. I did not like when people hid the sender. I did not like when they tried to make things look official without being official. We went inside. I put Mia to bed on the couch with an extra pillow and her cat napkin tucked under it like a secret. I told her we would make pancakes in the morning. She smiled in her sleep. Hannah followed me to the kitchen. I set the envelope on the table and opened it with the small knife I kept in the drawer. It was 2 pages. The title was friendly. It used words like consent and streamline and transition. My name was already typed in every blank. Someone had marked the lines with a highlighter so my pen could find them fast. It was not a legal form from a lawyer. It was something you print when you think an old man will sign anything that looks neat. A sticky note was on top. It said, "Just sign, Arthur. We will handle the rest. N." He used the initial like we were partners. He liked to cut corners. He liked speed. He liked the part where people stopped asking questions. I sat down. I read the 2 pages slowly. I thought about my house. I thought about the shop in the garage and the smell of pine. I thought about Mia drawing cats on napkins while I stirred sauce. I thought about Hannah at my sink, rinsing plates the way her mother did, quick and careful. Hannah leaned on the counter. "What are you going to do?" she asked. I looked at the paper. I thought about the way Nate had looked at the waiter, the way he had looked at me. I felt that steady heat again. Not wild, not loose. It was small and controlled, like a pilot light waiting for a burner. "I am going to make pancakes," I said. "Then I am going to think." I folded the 2 pages once. I put them back in the envelope. I wrote the time on the back with a pen. 10:42 p.m. I do not know why I wrote it. Maybe because it mattered to me that someone had tried to move me like a chair and called it care. A car rolled by outside, slow. Hannah turned her head. "He will be here early," she whispered. "I know," I said. I picked up the envelope. I slid it into the fireproof box under the sink. It felt heavy for 2 thin pages. I closed the lid. I looked at my daughter. She looked at me. We did not hug. We are not big huggers in this family. We just stood there, 2 people who knew what a line was, and we knew we had reached one. I decided to draw a line. That night I set the coffee to brew at 6 and checked the doors twice. I stood in the hallway and listened to Mia breathe. I told myself out loud, quiet so only the walls could hear. This house stayed mine, this table stayed ours, and no one used my money to parade their pride. I would not argue with Nate, and I would not beg him. If he pushes my daughter or tries to move my granddaughter like furniture, he will learn that we're not a pushover family. I'll avenge my family, and my revenge is going to destroy his life. He is going to feel consequences for his actions really soon. You don't want to miss it. But before we continue, please subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what time it is where you are now. I woke before the house. I made pancakes for Mia and coffee for Hannah and me. The kitchen felt steady again. After breakfast, I sent them to the living room with a movie. I took the envelope from the fireproof box under the sink and set it aside. Then I pulled out the old brown folder that lived there too. Inside were simple things. A copy of the paper that named me as owner of the restaurant, signed the day I bought it. A list of checks I had written over the last 2 years when Nate said he needed a hand, the car repair, the bridge for his startup, the deposit on a rental hall he never used. Some had his signature in the received by line. Some had texts printed and stapled to them. "Can you spot me again?" "I'll pay you Friday." He never paid Friday. He called it family flow. There was also a note from the manager in her neat handwriting from last spring. "Mr. Lane, we have the stage set for your veterans cooking night any time you want it." She had tucked a spare office key behind the note. I had forgotten that. I held the key and felt something settle. This was not about locking him out to be cruel. This was about locking down what fed our people. I felt the old fear try to creep in, the fear that a man with fast words can turn a room and make you doubt what you know. I pressed my palm to the table and did not let that fear write the story. Facts were simple. My name was on the door. My money had kept his plans alive when they should have died. He had tried to move me out of my own life to free his hands. Hannah came in, quiet. "He texted," she said. She held out her phone. A bubble glowed on the screen. "Be ready at 8. We're listing Sunday. Get your dad in a good mood." I breathed once, slow. "You will not be in the middle," I said. "Not today." "Not ever again." She nodded. She looked at the brown folder. Her face changed when she saw the checks and his notes. Not a wild change, a sad one. "He used you," she said. "He tried," I said. "He will not again." I slid the folder back into the box and left the envelope on the table. The 2 pages that he wanted me to sign sat like a cheap trick under the kitchen light. I closed the box and turned the latch. Evidence entered the story. I took my old coat and drove to the bank on Main Street. The lobby was quiet. The teller waved me into a small glass office with the manager. She had been there 10 years. She knew my name without looking it up. "Morning, Mr. Lane," she said. "What can we do?" "I want to stop some things," I said. I kept it plain. "There is an extra card on my account that I no longer want anyone to use. And there are transfers I set up that I no longer believe in." She nodded. "We can remove an authorized user and cancel the card. We can also stop the automatic transfers. Today, that is what I want," I said. "Today." She typed. She read back a name. "Nate." She looked up. "You know this will leave him short." "There may be calls he can call me," I said. "He will not get what he expects." She printed 2 short papers. No tricks. 2 signatures. Index finger on the line. She took my card and ran it through a reader, then slid me a new one and a small envelope with a new pin. "Do you want to set anything aside?" she asked. "For your granddaughter, maybe?" "Yes," I said. "A simple account with her name and mine." I did not want legal words. I wanted a passbook and a place where her school and her doctor could be paid without anyone else's hand on it. We set it up. She wrote the account number on a card and handed it to me. "Keep this safe," she said. "I will," I said. As I left, I felt lighter and heavier at the same time. I had cut one rope that he had tied around my life. I had also tugged his temper. He would yank back. The cost of that was coming, and I was ready for it. On the sidewalk, my phone buzzed. A new text. "Where are you?" "We need signatures at lunch." Big day. He sent a thumbs up like he was my boss. I put the phone in my pocket and walked to the truck. At home, I told Hannah what I did. She closed her eyes and nodded. "He will go wild," she said. "All his wild will do is show itself," I said. "Better out where we can see it." She bit her lip. "Are you sure?" "I have never been more sure," I said. "You and Mia will meet me at the restaurant at 7. Sit in the back until I wave you over." I watched worry cross her face and pass. She tucked a strand of hair behind her ear the way her mother used to when she was bracing for a storm. That night, I put on a clean shirt and a dark sweater. I put the spare office key in my pocket. I slid the account card for Mia into my wallet behind my license. I looked at myself in the mirror and saw a man who was done paying for someone else's show. The restaurant was full by 7. I liked the low drum of voices, the clink of plates, the smell of onions on the grill. I nodded to the hostess. She did not seat me. She pointed to the corner booth. Hannah and Mia slipped in while the room looked elsewhere. Nate came late, as if that made him important. He had 2 men with him in stiff jackets. He walked like he owned the floor. He put a leather folder on our table without asking and gave me a wink he must have practiced in the mirror. "Glad you could make it," he said. "We're all here to help you." "Help me do what?" I asked. "Transition," he said. He opened the folder with a flourish. The first page had a big title. The rest was tiny print that offered me a seat far away from my own life. "Sign tonight and it all runs smooth," he said. "This is family efficiency. I kept the word simple for you." "Show me the contract," I said. He blinked. "It is right here." "That is paper you printed," I said. I kept my voice low. "Show me where you own anything you are trying to take. Show me where I agreed to let you spend my life. Show me who gave you the right to move Hannah and sell my house." He chuckled, too loud. People looked. He leaned in. "Arthur, do not make this messy. Investors do not like scenes. They like signatures. You want Mia in a good school? Then sign." Hannah spoke, small but steady. "Do not use her," she said. He did not look at her. He tapped a line with a pen. "2 signatures," he said to me. "One there, one there. Bless yourself by letting me handle it." I pushed the folder back. "No." His face went tight. The smile dropped. Greed showed behind it like a wire. "You cannot keep up," he hissed. "You forget things. You fall asleep in chairs. You need a manager." "I need a son-in-law who is kind," I said. "I have you instead." He tried to snatch the folder. The manager was already moving our way, quiet and sure, the way people move when they have watched long enough. She stood at my shoulder. She did not speak yet. She did not need to. I picked up the envelope he had stuck in my mailbox and set it next to his folder. "If I ever sign anything, it will not be this," I said. "And it will not be with you." He looked around for support and found only faces. The 2 men in stiff jackets shifted, unsure. One of them cleared his throat and stared at the salt shaker like it could save him. Nate straightened and smoothed his tie. "We are done here," he said. He tried to make it sound like a victory. It sounded like a crack. "We are not done," I said. I stood up. "We are at the start." He laughed, but his eyes were dark. He lifted the folder and walked away fast. He did not take the envelope. I told the manager I needed the small stage for a moment. She gave a nod. The music dimmed. Conversation softened. I stepped up and took the microphone from its stand. I do not like microphones, but I used it because I wanted honesty to carry. "Friends," I said. My voice sounded steady in the speakers. "Some of you know me. Some of you do not. My name is Arthur Lane. I opened this place to feed people and give them work. It has always been simple." Nate froze halfway to the bar. He turned. His face was a mix of grin and fear. He did not know which one to trust. I went on. "There has been confusion about ownership and plans. Let me clear it up. Earlier today I signed new papers that keep this restaurant in good hands. From now on, it runs as a training kitchen. We will teach young cooks and single parents and veterans. Jobs stay. We add more. Profits will fund tuition for people who work here. That is the whole plan." A murmur ran through the room. It was not shock. It was relief. Staff slid closer, forming a line along the wall. The general manager stepped up beside me with a clipboard and a set of keys on a blue ring. She held them so the metal caught the light. I held up a small printed sheet. "These are the new rules. Nothing fancy. Paychecks go to the people who earn them. No one handles cash unless their name is on the schedule. No one uses this place to climb over family." My hand did not shake. Nate found his voice. "You cannot do this," he said. "This is insane. You do not even know what you signed." "I wrote it," I said. He came closer. "You gave away money," he spat. "What about us? What about our investors?" "There are no investors," I said. "There is a kitchen, a staff, and a town that eats. That is enough. The general manager took my cue. She handed me the keys. Then she looked at security and pointed at the office. Change the code, she said. Right now. 2 men in black shirts moved, calm and quick. The door to the office closed with a click. A new code flashed on the small screen. The manager placed a new laminated badge list on the host stand. Names were clean and clear. Hannah's was there, next to Office Coordinator. She had not known. She put her hand to her mouth when she saw it. Her eyes filled and then steadied. Nate lunged toward the office. Security blocked him with their bodies, not rough, but firm. He had to look up to meet their eyes. His impatience broke into open rage. "You are a foolish old man," he said to me. "You cost me everything." "I cost you a free ride," I said. "You will have to walk." The room did not clap. It did not need to. People went back to their plates, slower now, taking it in. Hannah stood beside me on the stage and took my arm. Mia waved from the booth like it was a school play. I handed the microphone back to the stand and looked at the key ring in my palm. It felt right there. It felt like a small, bright promise. The cold met us like a door. I was 2 steps from my truck when Nate came fast, his shoes loud on the asphalt. His face was red, then white. He pointed at me like he was counting offenses. "You do not even know what you signed," he said. The words came out hard and high. "You let people use you. You ruined our plans." "I wrote it," I said. He stopped. His mouth moved without sound for a second, like he had lost his script. Then he found it again and stepped closer. "You think this is noble? You think giving away profit makes you a saint? We had meetings. We had dates. I promised people access. You promised people things you did not own," I said. "This place is for food and work, not for showing off." He looked over my shoulder at Hannah, who stood by the passenger door with Mia's coat in her hands. "You," he said to her. "You tell him this is crazy. You tell him we need the house listed. You tell him assisted living is best. You know he forgets things." "I know he remembered tonight," she said. Her voice shook, but she did not move toward him. He laughed. "You like this, don't you? The attention, the booth, the keys. You are playing queen of the kitchen while your father throws our future away." He jabbed a finger at me. "You made him weak. You always have." My hands stayed at my sides. My heart thudded, slow and steady. I thought of my wife's headstone and the way I brushed leaves off at each fall. I thought of Mia's small hand on a whisk. I thought of the quiet joy of a hot plate you earned. That was what I was fighting for. Not money, not pride. A safe table that could not be rented by a bully. "Go home, Nate," I said. "Tonight is over." "Tomorrow is not," he said. He smiled then, a thin smile like paper. 8 o'clock. I will be at your house. We will handle this. He rolled the word handle around like a marble. He wanted it to sound clean. "You will not be welcome," I said. He leaned in so close I could see the small scar under his chin. "You cannot keep me out," he said. "You have no idea how many people are already counting on me." "I am counting on me," I said. "That will do." He stepped back, shook his head, and laughed at the sky. "You will regret this," he said. Hannah closed the truck door. Mia snored lightly and did not stir. I watched him walk back toward the restaurant, shoulders stiff. The lot felt like a stage gone dark. We went back inside for my coat. Nate beat us to the bar as if speed could fix face. He raised his hand and snapped for 2 top-shelf drinks. He made sure the bartender saw the men in stiff jackets. He made sure the room heard him say, "Celebrate." The bartender set the glasses down and slid the check. Nate pulled a card with my name on it, the extra one he liked to carry, and pushed it across like a dare. He watched the bartender's hands the way a child watches a magician, waiting for the trick. The screen flashed red. The word "declined" was not loud, but it did not need to be. The bartender's eyes flicked to me, then back to the card. "Do you have another?" she asked. Nate's smile held for 2 heartbeats, then fell. "That is impossible," he said. "Run it again." She did. The same red. People at the bar stilled in the way people do when they know a small truth is about to walk through the room. Nate swallowed. He looked around for me like I was supposed to rescue him. He made a small laugh. "Arthur, could you—" "No," I said. I said it soft. He fished out his own card and shoved it over. It went through. He signed with a sharp hand, then tossed the pen down like it had cut him. He lifted a glass and turned toward the 2 men, but they would not meet his eyes. One of them checked his phone as if he had somewhere better to be. I felt a wash of anger, clean and cold. Not because of the drink, because he had used my name like a mask. Because he expected me to save his show while he pushed my daughter to sell our home. He wanted to make me small and keep my pocket big. That was cruelty with polish. He raised his voice so the staff could hear. "This is a bump," he said. "The old man is confused. We will smooth it out." I stepped closer. "Do not call me old to excuse your choices," I said. "You are grown. Own it." He leaned toward me so close his breath touched my cheek. "I am picking Mia up from school tomorrow," he whispered. "If you want less trouble, you will be easy." My jaw clenched. "You will not go near her school," I said. "Not tomorrow, not ever, unless my daughter asks you to. Do not use a child as leverage." The bartender cleared her throat. "Is everything all right, Mr. Lane?" she asked. She was not looking at him. "It is," I said. My voice leveled out. "Thank you." Nate took his drink and backed away. He smirked, but his hand shook. He wanted me to chase him. I stayed where I was. The room knew the shape of the man he had shown them. We stepped into the office with the door half open. The general manager stood with the tablet. Her face was calm and set. "I thought you might want this," she said. She turned the screen so I could read. It was all there in plain letters. The change we announced was recorded with time and date. The notary stamp glowed in the scan. The new program name sat in the header. Hannah's new title sat on the list of staff. There were no extra words, no fluff, just the simple frame we had built. Nate tried to push in. Security filled the space first. He shouted over their shoulders, "This is fraud! He cannot do this. He is confused." The manager spoke up, steady. "Mr. Lane came in this afternoon with witnesses." The notary was present. The paper was recorded. "We have video." Nate scoffed. "You think a kitchen video means anything? He is being manipulated." I reached into my pocket and held out my phone. "Hannah," I said, "show her what you showed me." She unlocked her phone with hands that stopped shaking. She scrolled to the messages from him. She picked one and held the screen out for the manager and security both. "List the old man's place after Monday. Don't tell him till I get the papers signed." And another. "He will sign anything if we make it neat." Nate lunged, but security's arm came up, a quiet wall. He went red again. "You snoop on me?" he hissed at Hannah. "You twist everything? After everything I have planned for us?" "You planned for yourself," she said. It came out small, but it landed. The office phone rang. The manager answered. She nodded, then handed it to me. "Bank," she said. The voice on the line was the same woman from the morning. "Mr. Lane?" she said. "Just confirming, the extra card is canceled. Transfers are stopped. There were attempts a few minutes ago. We blocked them." "Thank you," I said. I handed the phone back. I looked at Nate. "You keep calling this a misunderstanding," I said. "It is not. You tried to move a family out of its own life. You tried to use a child. That is not a misunderstanding. That is a choice." For a heartbeat, his face went slack, like a man who has just seen himself in a mirror by accident. Then the sneer came back. "You cannot do this to me," he said. "I did not do anything to you," I said. "I took my name back." Hannah stood straighter. She stepped away from him, an inch at a time that looked like miles. Verification had a weight to it. It pressed on the room until everyone felt it. We walked out to the street. The night air cleared the noise. Hannah held her phone with both hands like a fragile cup. "He will not stop," she said. It was not a question. It was a truth we had to face. "No," I said, "but we will." She looked at me. "How?" "By leaving when the room is bad," I said. "By staying where the room is good. By not handing over the keys to our peace." She took a breath that shook at the start and steadied at the end. She pulled up the messages again. "I am going to send these to myself," she said, "and to you." She tapped and forwarded the screenshots. She moved them to a place where they could not be deleted by someone else who grabbed her phone. She blocked his number with a simple press. It was not complicated. It was brave. I took the small card the bank manager had given me and showed it to her. "For Mia," I said. "It is a simple account. School, doctor, groceries. You will not have to ask him for anything." Tears brightened her eyes. She nodded. "Thank you." "Do not thank me," I said. "We are just returning things to where they belong." I opened the Ride app and handed her my phone. "Take the car home for now," I said. "I will follow in the truck. If he is waiting, you drive past. You do not stop." She swallowed. "We cannot keep doing this," she whispered. "We will not," I said. "Tonight, we turn." Mia ran a circle on the sidewalk and grabbed my leg. "Grandpa, can we make pancakes again tomorrow?" "Yes," I said. "We can make them every day this week." A car pulled up. The driver said our names. We put Mia in the back. Hannah hugged me once, quick. She smelled like onions and cold air. "I am sorry," she said. "For what?" I asked. "For taking so long to see it," she said. "You saw it," I said. "You are seeing it now." They drove off. The tail lights went soft and then were gone. I stood under the street lamp and felt the fight settle into my bones. This was not about winning a night. It was about saving a life we knew was right. My phone buzzed before I started the truck. A new message from Nate. 8 a.m., be ready. No more smiley faces. Just that. I let the screen go dark. The morning would be blunt. He came at 8 on the dot with a rental truck that rattled like a threat. He did not park. He rolled up the drive and stopped inches from my gate. He jumped down and slammed the door so hard the truck shook. He wore a tight jacket and that thin smile that always meant trouble. "Open up, old man," he shouted. "We are moving your junk. We need the house for people who matter." Hannah stood inside the porch door with Mia behind her legs. I stepped down the steps and met him at the gate. I kept my hands down and my voice even. "Leave," I said. "You are not welcome here." He laughed. "This dump? You think I want it? I want what it can buy. Better schools, better friends, not this small life garbage." He looked over my shoulder toward the porch. "Hannah, pack your things. You do not want your kid growing up with this tired loser." "You want a future or you want soup and stories?" Mia cried. Hannah pulled her back. My jaw locked. "Do not talk to them," I said. He sneered. "You do not get to tell me how to talk to my family." He spit the word like a seed. "You kept her weak. You kept her stuck. You keep everyone stuck because you are scared of being alone." I stepped closer, slow. "I kept a door open," I said. "You tried to sell it." He moved fast. He shoved the gate and lunged at me with both hands. He grabbed my sweater at the chest and pushed. I staggered, then planted my feet. I knocked his hands off and raised my forearm to block the second grab. His ring scraped my skin. He swung wild and missed. I held my ground. "Hey!" a voice shouted. It was Mr. Connolly from next door, big as a refrigerator and wearing slippers. I saw that. Mrs. Connolly was right behind him with her phone up. Across the street, young Marcos from the corner store ran over and put himself at my side. He smelled like coffee and courage. "Back off," he told Nate. "We saw you put hands on him." Nate jerked away and looked around. 3 phones were up now. Mrs. Alvarez's front door opened. "Do I call the police?" she called. "You will all regret this," he said. He pointed at me. "You think these people will save you? You think your little show last night means anything?" He backed toward the truck, still talking, still throwing poison at the porch. "Pack your bags," he yelled at Hannah. "I will be back with men and papers." He jumped into the truck and gunned the engine. Gravel spat. He swung the wheel, clipped my mailbox, and roared off. My chest hurt where his ring had scraped. I took a breath and looked at my neighbors. Their faces were set. They had seen enough. I nodded once. I picked up my phone. I called the police from the porch. My voice was steady. I gave the address. I said the words. He tried to assault me. Neighbors witnessed it. He threatened to return. The dispatcher listened. "An officer is on the way," she said. "Do you know where he is now?" "He will go to the restaurant," I said. "He cannot help himself." "Do not confront him alone," she said. "I do not plan to," I said. I told Hannah to stay in the house. I told Mr. Connolly and Marcos thank you. I drove to the restaurant with the window cracked and the cold in my lungs, because it kept me clear. My hands did not shake on the wheel. I knew what I was fighting for now. Not a building, not a name, but a circle of people who needed calm. I called the manager. "He is coming," I said. "We are ready," she said. "Security is on the floor." I pulled into the lot and saw Nate stride through the front doors like a storm. He went straight for the office. He hit the locked handle with his shoulder. Security stepped in and held him off with calm bodies. He twisted and tried to slip past. He swung his arm and caught one guard on the cheek. Chairs skidded. Diners stood up fast. The air tightened. I stepped inside. "Stop," I said. My voice carried. He turned, mouth open, and saw me. There was a split second when I saw the boy he must have been once, wild with want. Then the mask snapped back, and he spat my name. 2 officers came through the door at a run, lights reflecting off the glass. The manager was already at their side, speaking quickly. "He forced the door." "He hit my security," she said. "We have video." The officers faced Nate. "Sir, hands where we can see them," one said. "Now." He laughed and lifted them slow like he was doing a bit. "Are you serious?" he said. "This is family business." "This is assault," the officer said. "Turn around." Security eased him against the wall. The officer cuffed him, quick and clean. He jerked and swore under his breath. He tried to lock eyes with me. "You think this is the end?" he said. "You think a couple of cops in a kitchen make you a king?" "I think you have crossed every line," I said. The second officer took my statement while the manager handed over a thumb drive. "We pulled the clips," she said. The officer nodded. "Thank you." They walked him out past a room of people who had watched him perform for months. No one clapped. No one jeered. The quiet felt like truth. I stood in the doorway and breathed. I felt old and young and exactly my age, all at once. I had not chosen this fight, but I had finished this part of it. The afternoon held steady. I drove home with a slow heart and a clear head. Hannah met me on the porch. She had Mia on her hip. "The officers called," she said. "They wanted my statement too." Her voice was tired, but it did not shake. "We are going to draw a firm line now," I said. I was not talking about gates or locks. I was talking about days. "You are moving into that short lease tonight. We will bring what you need. The rest can wait." She nodded. "I packed a suitcase," she said. "I told the school who can pick up Mia. I put it in writing." "Good," I said. No surprises, not anymore. We ate soup at the kitchen table, the three of us. Sun slid across the floor. I felt the ache in my chest where his ring had scraped me, and I also felt something leave me that I had carried for too long. The need to keep peace at any cost. Peace at any cost is not peace. It is silence. My phone buzzed. A number I did not know. The officer again. "Mr. Lane," he said, "we have him. He is being processed. He will have a court date for the assault and attempted break-in here and at your residence, plus the damage to your mailbox. We have neighbor statements and video from your restaurant. Do you want to be notified of his release?" "Yes," I said, "and my daughter." "Noted," he said. "We will also flag your address for extra patrols tonight." "Thank you," I said. I called the manager and thanked her too. She said the guard who caught the elbow was fine. He laughed it off and asked for an extra slice of pie. We both knew that laugh was part armor, part relief. Hannah set the lease on the table. I slid the new account card across to her. "School and doctor are covered," I said. "Groceries too. You do not need to speak to him about money again." She looked at me with eyes that were hers and her mother's at once. "I will not," she said. We loaded her suitcase into the car at dusk. Neighbors waved from porches without asking questions. A thin line had become a wall. It was not a wall meant to hurt. It was a wall meant to keep what was good inside. As she pulled away, I stood under the porch light and felt the line hold. He would face court. We would face the morning. Weeks passed. The court was not fast, but it moved. The neighbors kept their word. The manager kept the clips safe. The officer called with dates. Hannah gave her statement, clear and simple. Mine matched it. Security's did too. The footage did the rest. The judge saw the shove at my gate and the hit in the restaurant. He saw the way Nate snarled and reached. He heard the threats in the parking lot. He heard the part about the school. It did not play well. An assault charge stuck. So did trespass. There were fines. There was time in county. Not years. Enough to cool his voice. Enough to make a record. He sat where he could not swagger for a while. The day after the hearing, I took Mia for pancakes. She drew a cat, a bigger one this time, with a smile on its face. Hannah slid into the booth late and kissed the top of my head. "We slept," she said. "All night." "Good," I said. That was all I wanted. At the restaurant, the training program filled the kitchen with new hands and new energy. A veteran learned to sauce. A single mother learned to call tickets without fear. The office door clicked with the new code. The badge list stayed clean. Hannah's name stayed on it, steady as a hand on a wheel. I kept my rule. I would not fund cruelty. I would fund work and care. The town ate well. The staff got paid. The room stayed kind. People asked me if I missed the quiet before all this. I told them the truth. I missed my wife. I did not miss silence. I liked the talk in the kitchen, the clink of plates, the small cheers when a perfect omelet hit the pass. I liked watching my granddaughter run to the pastry case and press her hand to the glass like it was a window to a better place. We heard, a month later, that Nate had violated something and earned an extra week. It did not surprise me. He always pushed lines until they snapped. He would have a fresh start someday if he chose it. That choice was no longer mine to fund or fix. I sat in my booth and raised my coffee to the line we drew. It held. It did not keep us small. It kept us whole. Agency and peace were back where they belonged. How would you answer a man who uses a child as leverage? Where would you draw the line if it were your house, your table, your child? Tell me your opinion in the comments section.
My grandpa's words really happened. I believe him. If you want more true tales stories like this, hit subscribe.